Well, hello everyone. I am live here. Let's check this out. We have to see if it's working. Yes, I can see myself on my iPad. We're live. Awesome. So I wanted, it's working. Yes, I can see myself on my Voila. That's better. So welcome everyone. Today we've got Q&A party. Well, the next 2 days as well. We've got a 3-day Q&A party. Because in this group, I just love that we're all enthusiasts of the law of attraction here, that we've got online businesses or are wanting to start an online business. And I love that we got this great community here, and I would love to connect with you more. And in the future, I'm planning to go live and do these Q&A afternoons a lot of times, like every week or so. And that's why I wanted to start off this week with like a Q&A party of 3 days of Q&A. And I've got already a lot of questions that came in via email, but if you got a question like about the law of attraction, or if you have a question about your business, if you are like stuck in your life and you're like, see, I know a lot about the law of attraction, but I've got this situation in my life and I can't seem to figure out how I can have a different look on or a different perception on it. Like I'm stuck here, can you help me to shine a new light on it? Just type your question, your specific situation in the comment box, and I will get you advice on it. So that's the plan for today, for tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. And then I will be coming on live every week to just do this Q&A because it's really fun and insightful and helpful. You know, if you want to get further with our practice of the law of attraction, then we can really benefit from seeing other people's questions and what other people are struggling with and how they take on it, like, you know, how you go along with it. So I want to start today off with like a little bit of grounding and calming down. So let's start with a few deep breaths in. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Yes, do you feel how these big breathings and these breaths really help you to just get grounded and into this moment? Welcome, Dine Nigel of Nigel. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So if you got a question, just type it in the comments. I'm going to start off with a question that I received via email from Rosalinde. And she asked, how can I create a little bit more time to do what I really want to do and still fulfill my obligations? And that's such a good question. Isn't that like a very like global topic that lots of people are asking that? Like, how can I create more time or a little bit more time to do what I really want to do? And what I feel in this question is to do what I really want to do is that at this moment, maybe life gets in the way. Maybe Rosalinde got like a feeling like, yeah, I've got all these things to do and life is busy. Hello, Dine. And she's got a feeling that she can't get to time to do what she really wants to do. So is this something that relates with you as well? Like, Dine, do you have sometimes that feeling as well that I don't have the time, I want to do the things that I love to do, but I don't know when to do it because my life is full with all these obligations? And that's something that she says in her question as well, and still fulfill my obligations. Like, of course, in life, we want to be responsible. We want to do the things that we need to do. Like sometimes when people are starting a business, you have to go to work, a day job. You have to maybe go to get groceries. You have to take care of your kids, or you have appointments. Maybe you have clients scheduled in and you really want to fulfill your obligations. But maybe it's like a dream of you to write that book. So then I want to ask Rosalinde, who asked the question, what are your affirmations about this? Is your main thought pattern in your mind, like when you're talking to yourself, does this come up a lot of times that you say to yourself, I don't have any time, I don't have time, time is so limited, I'm so busy? And if that's something that's coming up when you're talking to yourself, like thoughts that pop up like, oh, life is so busy, it's busy, 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 I don't have the time, then that's an affirmation, that's a vibration that you're affirming over and over and over again. Like when you're saying to yourself, I don't have time, at that same time, when you're saying that, a little bit too much time in one sentence, at the same moment when you're saying, I never have time, I don't have time, you're affirming that question to the universe. You're saying to the universe, I don't have time. So the universe will bring you even more stuff to fill up your life so that you don't have the time, because you affirm that it's part of you. It's the vibration that you are putting out and saying, I don't have the time. So that's like the universal and vibrational approach to this, you know. Like in a few moments we're going to talk specifics and like tactics as well, more like action-based things that you can do. But first I want to give you some universal advice, to like spiritual advice, like how you should go about this. And when you start changing like a concept, what I started doing before, I always was like, oh, busy, 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 and now I'm just saying like, I'm being very productive. And being very productive really feels like you're doing something good and you can get done a lot of things. When you're saying I'm being very productive, you've got this feeling like I can get done a lot of things. Instead, when you say I'm being very busy, it's like when you're cramped with work and you can't get done a lot of things. So I would change when you're saying I'm very busy into I'm feeling very productive. And at the same time, like you can say, I'm a person who can always get done everything she wants. It has to be like a new affirmation that comes into your life. Maybe at first some resistance might come up, like when you say like, I'm the kind of person who can make lots of things happen in her day, or has a time for everything she wants. Maybe it feels resistant because you feel inside of yourself, but that's not true. That's not what I've been experiencing. But when you are going to focus on what you've been experiencing in the past, then you are just recreating that past into the future. To create a new future, you have to start thinking new thoughts and new beliefs to really create that new future. Because when you're just only like admitting and reaffirming what happened in the past, that's what's going to happen again. So you really have to start deliberately catching your thoughts like, oh yeah, I'm thinking that again. No, I'm the kind of person who can do it. I'm the kind of person who has time for the things that I love to do. That's like what you can do on an energetical basis. Really feel where it comes from. And then maybe you can think for yourself as well, like, why am I not taking the time to do the things that I love to do? Don't I allow myself, or am I scared? Like maybe if you want to write a book, for example, and you're putting that off and saying like, yeah, my life is so busy and I can never get to it. Maybe is the busyness of your life like an excuse, because maybe starting on your project or completing that project that you really want to work on, maybe that a lot of fears come up, like, will I be good enough for that project? Can I really pull it off? Is that something that fits me? Can I do that? Am I taking like a step in the wrong direction? Those are fears that are coming up. So that's something that you really have to see for yourself as well. Like the first thing that we talked about was your thoughts. What are you thinking? And can you say new affirming thoughts, like positive thoughts? And the second thing is, what are the fears that might be around that subject that you at this moment can't get around? You know, like you want to do it somewhere, but the universe just keeps on bringing you stuff to fill up your life so that you can't get to that. Maybe there's a reason, because you are putting out fear. What is the vibration around the project or the things that you really want to do? And what is what you allow yourself? Maybe when you think about yourself and the things that you want to do, maybe you feel guilty, like when I'm doing that, I'm not taking care of my family, or I'm being egotistical. Like, you know, what kind of feelings come up when you think about doing the stuff that you want to do? Is there like resistance coming up, and what is it about? What feelings? What's lying underneath there? There's like an underlying layer. You need to peel off the onion and see what's underneath it, why this is coming up in your life. It's really, it goes deeper than just like change your thoughts. Sometimes it's really that you just don't feel worthy enough to do what you want to do, or feel that you have other obligations and that you can't do it. Like, you know, you have to allow yourself, like, I am allowed to do that. I am allowed to have fun. I'm allowed to pursue my dreams. That's something really underneath, and you have to see that for yourself if that resonates with you or not. And find that place where you can say like, okay, where does this come from? And how can I feel comfortable with pursuing my dreams, and with feeling good enough to do the things that I want to do? So that was the second thing. So your thoughts, your fears, your feelings, underlying feelings, I would really look at that. There's something going on. And at the same time, we have to get very actionable about it. Like, I made a list here that you can create. Like, when you take a piece of paper and you just divide it in rows, and you place in the first row the 10-minute tasks. Like, here you can write down all the tasks that's on your mind. Maybe you can start off here just writing everything that you need to do, or everything that you want to do, and then just place them in each column, like the 10-minute tasks, the 30-minute tasks, the 1-hour tasks, maybe the 2-hour tasks, and then the half-a-day tasks, or a full-day task or something. And then every time that you've got like 10 minutes, sometimes you're waiting. Sometimes like, oh yes, I'm ready already. And then you're waiting for something, and then you can do a 10-minute task. Sometimes we think like we need a whole afternoon to do something, and that's not really true. Sometimes all we need is just 10 minutes, somewhere in between. Sometimes we just feel, when we've got an whole hour left, like, oh yeah, it's not, I can't start anymore at this right now, you know? Hello, Janne Kalmer Jorgensen. Hello, so much welcome. If you got any questions, please type them in the comments. So this is something that you can do, like make that list and make it like, sometimes so difficult. It's like combing your hair in the mirror, you know? It's always the wrong direction. Make that list and put in there how long your task will take. And also for your dream, like when you are saying like, how can I create a little bit more time to do what I really want to do? Define what you really want to do. Like when it is writing your own book, for example, I keep on going back to that, or making your own course, your online course, it can seem like a very big task. Like something like, oh, I can't oversee this, this is just too much. And you just start secretly postponing it. And it's easier to do like the dishes first, or to clean out your closet or do some other stuff, like your mother asked to go to groceries or whatever. It's easier to do those things, like, and then you say life gets in the way, I don't have time to work on my dream. But actually it is because maybe your dream seems like such a big adventure and you have to, you know, strip it down into smaller parts, like okay, maybe I can start with the headlines. What will be the headlines of my course? And maybe you can start with just one chapter, or research for this and research for that. And then you can just divide that as well in those columns, like how long will these tasks take? And then just start on a moment when you got 10 minutes or 30 minutes. There's always things to do, and then you can really stretch your time and get more done. But that's more like really the actionable based time management tips. But really where it all starts is your thoughts. When you're saying like, I don't have time, you're recreating it. Or your fears, like maybe you have fear to work on that big project or your dreams, or maybe you don't feel good enough to, or guilty that you have to do other stuff. And Dine is saying fear of failure, feeling like it is too much effort and it takes too much time from my very demanding toddler. Too much effort and too much time away from your very demanding toddler. Yes, indeed, a toddler can also really be, or like life gets in the way, or an excuse, because maybe that's an easy excuse, like, yeah, my toddler needs all my attention. That might be so, I'm not saying that. But it might also secretly be this excuse because there are underlying feelings, like you're saying, feel of failure, or your dream is like too big. Try to divide your dream in smaller steps. Try to think like, okay, what's like little steps in my dream? What are little pieces of it? And just write those down, divide them in columns. Indeed, a toddler is a lot of work, but when you're saying that to yourself, it takes too much time away from my demanding toddler, or it's this or that, then you're creating that, and that will be the feeling that you're always having. So Dine, I would advise you to start thinking and telling to yourself, it isn't either this or that. I can do both, and I can be good at both. I don't have to be good at one or good at the other, but I can be good at both. I can be a good mother, and I can be a good dream fulfiller, or I don't know what your dreams are exactly, you know? So it is something that's a story that's playing in your mind somewhere, that, or maybe you've had this in the past, like a moment when you were working on your own dream or your own business, and then you didn't have a lot of time for your little toddler. And there out came this story in your mind, like, I'm not a good enough mother, it's this or that, I can't do both, this and blah. You have to create right now a new story. And I would advise you to take like a journal and write it down, write a new story. Some story that feels, what if that was possible? Like, that would be nice. If that would be the case, that would be really great. And hello, Neil Chituni, welcome. So that is really like something that you should do. Like, take your journal, take your pen, and just start writing. What if I could be a good business owner, and a good this or that, and a good mother as well? What if I had all the time in the world to do all the things in the day that I have to do, and all the things in the day that I want to do? What if that was possible? And just start getting into that feeling, like this possibility. What if it was possible? And let your feelings that come with your writing, just let them bubble up, and just feel them. What if that was possible? What if I felt in control? What if I felt that I was just doing this task after the other task, and it was just like going boom, boom, and really good? And just get into that emotion and that feeling. Just write it all down. and it might feel really great, you know? So that were my tips already on time creation. There was a question that came from Rosalinde. I don't know if you got, like Jana or Neeltje or Dine, if you got questions, just type them in the comment box and I will answer them. But before I see questions on the screen or on the comments popping up, I'm going to go for another question that came in with the emails. So here, hello Carolina, it's from Heloise, a question from Heloise. I'm at the start of my business and I stumble upon many disappointments. I am very enthusiastic and driven and I love to go after what I want. I put myself out there and set goals, and then when I don't reach them, I feel disappointed. What can I do to feel less disappointed and reach my goals? Okay, this is a very interesting question. It's from Eloise. So when you're watching your replay, Eloise, here's your question. So she's at the start of her business and she stumbles upon many disappointments. What happens when you're starting your business, all right? And she's a very enthusiastic and driven person and she loves to go after what she does. And she puts herself out there, sets goals, and then when she doesn't reach them, she feels disappointed. So how can she feel less disappointed? Okay, that's a very interesting question. And that's something that I have had myself a lot in the previous time as well. So don't we all feel like that sometimes? Like we set goals and then when that doesn't happen, we feel very disappointed. So sometimes with the law of attraction, with knowing what you want, sometimes you have to set like a goal and a deadline, like I want that, I'm going to manifest that. And then you're working towards it or just following live and following your inspired action. And then when it doesn't happen, like when you don't manifest your goal by the deadline that you set, you feel like a failure, you feel disappointed, you feel that you could have done better. So that feels really shitty, if I have to say. But there are some pointers that I can give you to approach this a different way. Like, okay, when you set a goal, you set that, like, I remember for myself, I said to myself, oh, when I reach that many people on my Facebook page, I'm going to feel so lucky. Or when so many people come on live, for example, when I do the lives, I'm going to feel very happy. And then I said to myself, oh no, Carolina, this is such a wrong way of thinking. Like, you can set that goal, like, I want to do more lives and I want to attract more people in my community and I want to get to know the people in my community. But when you're saying, I'm going to feel happy when so many people are coming on live, then you're setting conditional happiness, you know? You're saying, I'm only going to be happy when this happens, or I'm going to be happy when this happens. And that's conditional happiness. And so I have to say to myself then, I have to think like, okay, if I can't say I'm going to be happy when so many people are live and interacting with my live broadcast, for example, then I have to say, then why am I doing it? Like, why do I want to do the lives, or why do I want to do this? And that is the very point of my happiness. Like, yes, I'm going to be very happy when I'm putting my message out there. And it doesn't matter, like, everyone is welcome, but it doesn't matter if it's like nobody or 10 or 20 people on. I'm going to put my message out there and that's going to make me happy. See how this is a totally different approach, like saying, I'm going to be happy if like 20 people are online, or I'm going to be happy if my message is out there. And that's something that's important when you're doing your goals, you know, when you're setting your goals in your business. Oh, hello, Caroline Iverson. I just see you are coming on here as well. Welcome. If you've got any questions, everyone who's on, just put them in the comments and just ask them to me directly and I will answer them live. We're now answering a question about disappointments, about goals that you set. Like sometimes when we are a really driven person, we want to make things happen. We want to fix things. We want to be in control. Like as business owners, that's something that's really naturally in ourselves, you know. But we have to know that the universe has like these mysterious ways, and the universe is kind of stubborn, or how shall I say it? It wants to bring it to you in its own way. And you can say like, I want to have this happen by then, and I want to have this happen by then, and then I'm going to be happy, and then it's going to be okay. First of all, conditional happiness doesn't work. You have to be happy all the time, no matter what happens. You can set goals, but take your happiness out of something else. Like I just said, I'm going to be happy when I'm putting my message out there. Then I'm going to be feeling so fulfilled, you know? So when you're setting your goals, it's good, you can set your goals, but you have to try to, at the same time, really want your goals, and at the same time kind of feel detached from the outcome. The outcome shouldn't have any effect on your happiness. And you can do that already when you are setting your goals. Like when you're setting your goals and you're thinking, okay, what if this never happens? How can I be happy with all the route that I took to get there? Like sometimes goals are just there actually to define the kind of game you're going to play. Like when you say like, ooh, I want to reach 1,000 new subscribers to my email list, for example, or you say I want to have 10 new subscribers in my email list. The kind of game you're going to play, they're both goals, but one goal is like huge and another goal is tiny and more easily, you know, to reach. But the goal is actually just an indicator of the kind of game that you're going to play. So when you're saying, I'm going to reach 1,000 new people on my email list, you're saying, okay, all hands on, I'm going to do this, and this can make that work, and this can make that work. But then at the end, when that doesn't really happen, when you didn't reach 1,000 people, it shouldn't really affect your happiness because it was only actually an indicator of the kind of game that you were going to play. You have to think in the beginning when you set your goal and the indicator of the kind of game you're going to play, when you wouldn't reach that goal, is the game you're going to play still worth it? If it doesn't really end you up with the results, is it still worth it? Can you get something else out of the game you're going to play? You know, accept of the results. Can your happiness come out of the game you're going to play instead of the results? And that is something I think that can help you with being less disappointed and kind of being detached from the outcome and still really being really eager to play that game and to go all in and to just be like this pit bull and be like, I want to do that, and really feel your emotions. And I think that you really have to think about this at the beginning when you're setting your goals. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And you have to really know this for yourself. Why am I doing this? Is it worth it to go on the journey without having the results? Because you're never sure about the results. You're only sure about your journey. You can have control about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And is that for you worth it? Is that good enough for you? Because you are not in charge of results. The universe is in charge of that. You can only, you know, play the game, go all in and just have fun and feel it, you know? Caroline is saying, a little late on his live and having acupuncture soon, but listens as long as possible. So welcome. Yeah, everything at ease for the satisfaction. Indeed, Neeltje, absolutely. But you have to know that up front. Because if you're like really saying, I'm going all in and I'm going to get it, and then when you don't get it, you feel like a failure. Then you your whys, why you were doing it, was constantly because of the end result. And your whys should be for something else, I feel. Energetically, they should be for, I want to grow, I want to experiment, I want to exercise, I want to see where I'm going, I want to give everything that I can. Those are good things. And then at the end, those are things that you can measure. Did I exercise? Did I grow? Did I you know, learn new things? Did I had a new feeling about this? Those are things that you can measure and that you kind of have, you know, that you're in control over, not the results. So that's something that I really would advise everyone who has like disappointments or goal settings. Always set goals, but really be mindful and very certain about the whys of your goal, about put your whys in that journey, like why do you want to grow into that? So I'm going to see another question that I had coming on here is, hi Carolina, I have been in business for a while. This question is from Eniri. She emailed me that question. So Eniri, when you're watching the replay, this is your question. So, hi Carolina, I have been in business for a while now, and at first when I was starting my business, I used the law of attraction to get where I am now. You could say I asked and received a successful business. Ooh, that's awesome. Now the only thing is it's harder and less fun as I thought it would be. I'm constantly stressed out because of all the responsibility and work, and I don't really know what to do to get out of this feeling. Am I ungrateful to not like what I have received? Iniri. So that's a really great question. Like maybe some other people already have had this before, like you wanted something and you got it, but then at the moment when you got it, you're feeling like, is this it? It doesn't like feel so fun as I had it in mind. I really hope it would be funner, or not. Like now I'm having stress and I don't know what to do with this manifestation. Has someone had this before already, like that you manifested something like that? I'm really curious. So this is a very common feeling. First of all, really be okay, because that's really common. Like when we are at the start, like you're conceiving this dream, you're like, yes, I want that. I want that successful business. And you're thinking about it, you're visualizing it, you're scripting about it, you're doing all the exercises to get into the vibration and to really manifest your dream business. You're taking inspired action, you're doing all the steps for the law of attraction, and then suddenly it's there. But suddenly, new contrast is coming up, and suddenly it's not so fun anymore, and your dream isn't your dream anymore. But isn't that normal? Like, let's say when your dream would be like completely fulfilled, everything would be perfect, and there was no room to grow anymore. Wouldn't that be boring, or wouldn't you like be dead? I think for as long as we live, for as long as we are human here in our human body, we are going to have room for improvement. We're going to have a desire for improvement. We're going to have contrast popping up, and the contrast is there, like the bad things that happen in our life, or the feelings, you know, the stressful feelings or the uncomfortable feelings happen as a reason for us to grow, to have new desires, to reach a new level, you know? Now you've reached your first desire, you got your successful business. Awesome. Now it's time to just dream again, dream further on, and then go to that dream. You're just like constantly evolving. It never stops. And like when you have that dream business in mind, like in your vortex, when you were thinking about it, all your cool stuff, when we are listening to Abraham Hicks, for example, they're always talking about the vortex. When all your dreams are in the vortex, like the place where everything is already there and in reality, you know? When you're thinking about your dream business, is that dream business that you're seeing in your vortex, that perfectly good dream business, is it already happening in your reality right now? I think not, because you're saying like, I'm stressed out and this is happening. I feel overwhelmed, all the responsibilities, it's less fun. Then maybe you already like received part of the manifestation, but maybe the manifestation isn't full circle yet. Like maybe you shouldn't think like, yes, I asked and I received and that's it. No, you asked and you are receiving, and you are adjusting all the time, further and further and further again. But the thing is, of course, when you're like suddenly in a successful business and it gets a little bit more stressful, stress and like worry and like all the feelings that come up with that take you out of the vortex. They take you out of alignment. And therefore it's more difficult to, you know, adjust and really manifest the other parts of your dream business, you know? Like when you're in that stage of weariness and disappointment, or that stage of stress, you know, that's not an in alignment state. That's not a complete bliss or happy state. And we only can like follow our inspired action and the universe's path, you know, to our dreams, to our manifestation. We can only be in that alignment when we're feeling good, when we're like in complete happiness and calmness and peacefulness and gratefulness about everything that's already happening right now. When we are like, Neil just says, yeah, I did, with all those laugh, tear emojis. Cool. So when you're like in this stressful situation, it's still important to try to get out of that stressful situation and take the time to get in alignment. You actually have to be in alignment first and then take action in your business. And a lot of times, like when we're just starting into a new business, we still have the time and it's all a little bit more like, okay, it may happen, but it isn't that important. I'm just starting, and we're just a little bit more like je m'en fous and everything's all right and we can do it. And then when it gets more serious, the business, we get a little bit more rigid. Suddenly we're like, and I don't want to lose it. And suddenly we are in this totally different vibration. And we're asking ourselves, why was it so easy in the beginning and why is it so difficult now? Right? In the beginning, it's also easy because you're a little bit more oblivious to it. It's like, okay, we'll see, whatever happens, happens. And then suddenly when it's there, you don't want to lose it and you get scared, like, oh my God, what would happen if everything goes wrong? And that just completely knocks you out of the park, knocks you out of the park of happiness, knocks you out of the park of manifestation. And suddenly you go from manifestation guru to manifestation idiot, like, nothing works anymore, and what can I do? And I'm doing everything wrong, and I'm manifesting one problem after the other. So then it's time again to take a step back and to come back to that peaceful part of yourself. Like really take a step back and say like, okay, what is all good in my business? How can I be chill with everything that happens? Why are the things that I'm worried about right now actually not that important? Why can everything be solved? Why is nothing such a big problem? Just really try to get in that state again of everything's fun. Try to make it fun again. How can you find your fun again? And that's not a question that I can answer. That's a question that you have to ask the universe and yourself. Like, you know, your soul. How can we make it more fun again? How can we get into the playfulness that we started our business with in the beginning? And Dine Nigel asks, how do you get back into alignment? Oh, sorry. Talking and drinking at the same time. not a good not a good idea. So okay, I'm going to drink now. So how do you get back into alignment? That's a good question, Dine. First of all, you have to take a step back. I think that's mostly always a good answer, like get out of your rush, get out of your life. Start doing meditation. Start taking silent moments for yourself, like me time. Like, okay, I'm going to write things down. Why am I grateful? Why are things cool? What do I like to do? What can I do for myself? That's a question I asked here in the group as well. Like, what do you do for you? A lot of times when we are busy with our days, we're doing a lot of stuff for other people, like for our family, for our children, for our business, for for our husband, I don't know, for friends. Like when you're going to the grocery store, you're doing it for your family. When you're working on your business, you're doing it for your clients. Okay, that's also a little bit for you, but it's for your business. You're doing it for other people. So that's why I asked this week in this group, like, what are you doing for you? And you really have to think about that. Like, what can make you happy? And of course, also doing things for other people can make you happy as well. I know that. But what can make you happy that you do for you? Like, do you take those times out, like to take a bath or just see in a magazine, take a walk in nature? Like I do. What I do for me is go walk here in the park. We've got a beautiful park here, just very nearby. And when I just go walk there and just write in my journal, that's a moment for me. That really feels a me time. That feels like, oh yes, a little bit me, myself, and I, like me, my soul, and my conversations with myself. Those things feel really precious. And when you feel this feeling of bliss, or when you can come in this feeling of bliss and peacefulness and like, oh, life is good, life is great, then you're in that alignment state. Then you're feeling good. Then you're feeling in the flow, like, yes, all is good. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing this with fun. And getting in alignment, it will be different for different people because all people are like in a different state. I don't have my ladder nearby me, I think, but normally for my clients, I have this ladder of emotions. Like you can start here at the bottom when you're like discouraged, or I mean, when you're grieving, or when you're feeling in pain, when you are sad or depressed. That's really the bottom of the ladder. When you're going a little bit up, angry is already a better feeling than feeling depressed, or hate or jealousy. Those feelings are already a little bit higher on the ladder. They're still not good feelings, but they're already higher. So it really depends on where you are on the ladder. Then you go up to frustration, a little bit down, contentment, then you go up to hope, enthusiasm, and then you go up to love and gratitude and bliss and all those things. So how do you get back in alignment? Really depends on where you are on that scale, on that ladder. Like when you're totally here, you can't jump from here to there. You have to take it one step at a time. When you're here, you should just get very angry. That's already better for you, And then the second thing is just get frustrated, or just get, really go emotion per emotion. Just think about yourself, like, what is a better feeling thought? Like, how can I feel just a little bit better? What could bring me a little bit of relief? And then just go relief after relief after relief. Sometimes it will take days for people to get back into alignment. For other people, when you're just here at contentment or a little bit down, it's very easier to get into alignment, because you have to do less steps than when you're totally at the bottom. So it will really depend on where you are at this moment and in general in your life. And then also really meditation helps all the time. Just being still with yourself. You can open your eyes or you can close your eyes and just focus on your breath. Just get calm. And for me, walking in nature, I always get very, very happy of that. For me, I always feel that being relative about everything, just saying about all the things that you are actually worrying about, like, is it really that bad, or what's the worst thing that can happen, or am I going to die from this, or seeing things in perspective, you know, really always helps to get a lot, you know, get rid of that feeling of anxiety or worry or something. So that's it, like actually really feeling like knowing for yourself, like, how can I get loose of my worries? And that's mostly like when you put them in perspective, like, is it really this bad, or I am still here, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm not dying, I'm okay. As long as I am, then I'm good. Then we can still make things happen, we can still make things better. And also believe in that you can alter your reality, that you can change your reality, believing and trusting in the universe. Nailed you. Love the morning meditation before my little boy wakes up. Fill my grid with positive energy. Absolutely. So good that you get up before that your little boy wakes up. That's such, when I would advise all the parents, I would do that. Just try to get up before your kids, or do it after you brought them to school, you know? Really get in tune with yourself and really get really excited and happy for the day. And when you are like having this tendency to feel very already worrisome about your day, like, oh, I'm really not looking forward to, oh, I have to this and that, and oh, it's going to be so crowded, then you are already setting the wrong tone for your day. Then you are setting the tune or the tone for your day to be full of distress and worrisome and busyness, you know? And then you have to say to yourself, no, today everything is going to be fine. Today everything is going to flow. Then you have to set for yourself affirmations from the morning. Today I'm going to feel good. Today everything's going to be different than yesterday. Today all my tasks are going to get done very easily and effortlessly. Today is that day. That effortless is my middle name. You know, when you're talking to yourself like that, in a positive way, in an inspiring way, you are setting the tone and you are setting the vibration for the next thing that's happening. You are actually segmenting, you know, when you are going from this place to another place, you can set the tone. And then when you go from that place to the next place, you can set the tone again. Just what you expect is going to happen most of the time. That's mostly always it. When you expecting, like, oh yeah, it's going to be bad. Ooh, it's not going to be happy. Oh, when I'm going to see my brother, or when I'm going to see my boss, whew, yeah, I already know what he's going to say. Most of the time that happens because that is the vibration that you are putting out. You say, I already know what's going to happen, but yes, of course, you are creating that yourself. So I hope this brought a little bit more explanation to you, Dine. I already went on a tangent as well about that alignment part, but it's so, being and getting in alignment is actually what the law of attraction is all about. And it's so broad and it's so diverse. Like for every person, it's different. But in general, the basics is doing what you love all the time. Just going after that feeling. Like, I don't know if you can see it in my eyes right now, but at this moment, I feel in alignment. I'm doing what I love. I just love talking about the law of attraction. I love, you know, connecting with you here on Facebook, on our community group. I just love it. And I think that you can see that in my eyes. I am in alignment right now. I am just going there. I'm feeling it. I'm happy. I'm at ease. I'm good. So this is a feeling that you need to go to, like how, and then you have to ask for yourself, actually, you have to ask yourself, and your brain will always provide you with answers. That's what your brain actually does. You ask answers and your brain is primed to come up with an answer all the time. So you ask, what is it that I need to do to get happy actually? Ask yourself that question. And you don't need to pry for an answer, or the answer doesn't need to come directly. Maybe after a few days, when you ask yourself that question over and over again, like, what do I need to do to get in alignment? What do I need to do to have that feeling like Carolina was on her live stream, that she was so in alignment? How can I get there? Ask yourself that question over and over again, and then someday you are going to be in your shower and you're going to think, I want to do that. I want to do this, or you're going to get this idea, and this is the universe providing you with that answer to that question that you first asked yourself. So this is how you work with it, you know? You ask yourself a question like, what is it that would make me happy? Or when you look to your past, like what experiences and what things in your life made you happy and in alignment before? What were the experiences and what were the feelings that were most there at that moment? And how can you create them over and over again? So I hope that was clear for you. I hope that was interesting for you. Thank you, Neeltje, for saying that you love my energy. I love that you were here on the call with me as well. Dine, thank you as well for being here. If nobody else got a question, I'm going to see. I see Mayela is on as well. So hello, welcome. If nobody else has got a question anymore, then I will see you again tomorrow in the next live stream. So tomorrow we're going to have a live stream again, also with Q&A. You can send in your questions or just in this Facebook group, or you can send me an email and then I will answer your question in the Q&A of tomorrow. Or you can just come on live tomorrow and ask me your question live in the comments, and then I will answer you live. I don't love anything more than answering your questions and talking about the law of attraction, talking about business, and connecting with you all. So this is something that I will be doing a lot more in the future here in this group. And this week we're starting off with 3 days of Q&A. So see you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. CETs, like Belgian time, Scandinavian time, South African time, 1 p.m. See you again tomorrow. Thank you all for being here. Love you all.